Hey 17, it's Chloe Lukasiak from Dance Moms and recently published author of my new book, Girl on Point, Chloe's Guide to Taking on the World. And today, I'm going to be telling you my most embarrassing stories using emojis. Well, most embarrassing thing I've done in a crush. Like I said before, I ramble when I'm nervous, so I think I just continue on and on to the point where I start talking about embarrassing things about myself, and I'm like, oh crap, I should probably stop talking now. Or I trip a lot, which is really ironic considering I'm a dancer. You would think I would be graceful and, know how to walk, but I don't. I'm clumsy and I fall all the time, so I think I fell in front of my crush at a football game or something, and I did play it off really cool, and then I was walking down this, I was walking down the bleachers and I was trying to be cool walking down the steps and I fell and I was like, that didn't happen. But it did, and he saw. So great. Have I ever had a wardrobe malfunction? Yes, well if you guys watch Dance Moms, you know that the first episode, my headband fell over my eyes during my trio, so this was me during the dance, and then this was everyone watching, which was really nice, but I think it was a pity clap because I almost died because I had to do a side aerial blindfolded. It was so scary. I did it. I have so many from Dance Moms just because there was always so many costumes that were made last minute and there would be malfunctions on stage. Thankfully, nothing actually ended up happening that would be scandalous, but it was still kind of uncomfortable. Most awkward or embarrassing starstruck moment. Let's see, I think it was my first Teen Choice Awards. I met Justin Bieber, and I wasn't embarrassed, but he probably thought we should be just because of how crazy we were acting. We were like, oh my God, it's Justin Bieber, and then he took a picture with us, and I actually said in an interview that I was never washing this dress again, so that's embarrassing. Who says that? So I'm just gonna give that a thumbs down. No go, Chloe. My most embarrassing moment. I was in Ireland and I was doing a little video compilation of me doing dance moves across the world, and that's when Vine was still a thing, and I was doing a side aerial outside of a castle in Ireland, and the first time I did it, I was like, okay, let me just make sure I can do it. So I didn't, and I didn't fall. And the second time I did it, I had a crowd had gathered around because they saw I did the side aerial. They were like, oh, what is she gonna do next? Then I did it and I fell, and here it is. Yeah, so I face planted in front of everyone. It was really embarrassing, and everyone just kind of looked at me and they're like, oh, that sucks, and then walked away. So that is my most embarrassing moment, because I really, after the crowd had gathered, I was really wanted to be cool. It's oh, I got this, everyone's watching. But I didn't, but I fell. My idea of an awkward date. Okay, well I feel like I need this emoji. This one, because an awkward date would be seeing a horror movie. Because I don't like horror movies, although sometimes I watch them, but I don't enjoy them. I just watch them to scare myself. But if I were to go on a date, that would be really awkward because then I'd just be scared the whole time and probably grabbing onto the guy and he'd just be like, what is this girl doing? Or one that, probably this one, if it's a awkward silent date the entire time, we have nothing to talk about. I couldn't think of anything worse. I know there's awkward silence in first dates, but could you imagine just sitting there the whole time, just silence? That is my worst fear. And I ramble when I'm nervous, so I would just go on and on for hours. There would be no awkward silence. There would just be him sitting there awkwardly because I wouldn't shut up, like I just did right now. Anytime I breathed wrong. Let's just say my old dance teacher wasn't a huge fan of me, so anything I did was not good. But probably, I'm gonna use this one. Not because I slept in too late, but anytime I would accidentally show up late to dance, I probably would I would get in trouble, so. Most embarrassing thing my mother has ever done in my presence. My mom was on Dance Moms with me, as you guys all know. She had a lot of fights on there, so I'd probably do this one because, I get it, she was sticking up for me, but it still made it kind of awkward for me because I just stand there and I was like, oops. Even though my mom would always get in fights on Dance Moms, she always had my back, so I love you, Mom. This one's for you. When we were on the show, I think it was about season I think it was after we had wrapped season 2, before we had started season 3, Paige and I decided that we were gonna be the Twanksters, the Twinny Pranksters. So we decided to look up a bunch of pranks on YouTube and like on Safari and stuff, and pretty sure we ended up only doing 2, but like we would stick dollars to the ground. So this was everyone else because they'd go to pick up the money, and we would be like hiding behind like the building or something and be like, ha ha ha, you're such a loser. But we were the losers because who does that? And then we took Oreos and we took the icing out, and then we put Colgate toothpaste in it. So people would eat the Oreos and they would get really grossed out. So that was us. The strangest dream I've ever had. It's so awkward. Okay, this one, and this one. I don't know if this has happened to anyone else. Maybe I'm crazy, but you show up to school without any clothes on and you're in the cafeteria, and every time you try to find clothes or put them on, they like fall off. Has it ever happened to anyone else? I like looked it up and I think it's like a sign of like insecurity or something, but I was like, it was really awkward. So yeah, I was naked in the school cafeteria. School picture horror stories. They weren't really that bad, but I had braces for one and then I was getting them off. So I took the picture and then I got them off, and then there was like redo day, so I just went for redo day. It wasn't that bad, but I was really scared that my school picture was gonna have braces. Most embarrassing moment during a dance competition. This might be TMI, but I have a sweating problem. I sweat a lot, especially when I'm nervous or whenever I'm obviously exercising and stuff. So anytime I had costumes that were like full sleeve, that was not good for me because I just had sweat marks and TMI. I know, guys, sorry. I remember it was like winter time and I was wearing a tank top sitting in my bed doing homework and I was just like dripping in sweat. This is bad. So then my mom scheduled an appointment and I went again. I started getting Botox and now we're all good. Driving horror stories. Well, I recently got my license, yay, but it only took like forever. So when I took my permit test, I passed the first time. I think I only got one wrong, which I was so proud of. I was like, I passed, and I started driving immediately, and I drove all the time. And then when it came time to take the license, I was good at driving, but I don't think I should have passed, which I didn't pass. He failed me for parallel parking because I didn't know how to parallel park. I kind of just like drove up, and I'd only practiced once. I went into the test expecting to pass and only practiced once. Practice more than once, guys, before you go. Then you will pass. But I backed into the spot and I was completely outside of the lines. I'm pretty sure I'd hit the cone like 10 times. I only looked at the monitor on the screen. I didn't look at like any of the mirrors. I was a mess, so I failed. And then I practiced so much that whole week between taking it again. And I even got up on the day of my second test at like 6 a.m. to practice. I was so committed. And then I take the test and he fails me for not using my turn signal to come out of the parallel parking spot. No one told me you had to do that. I mean, everyone says that that's a thing, but no one told me that you had to do that. So on the way home, I started driving and I didn't say anything to my mom. And then she was like, "Are you okay?" And then I just burst out into tears and I was like, only stupid people fail twice. But it's really not that big of a deal. And then I took it a third time. And I did not have a positive attitude about it at all. I was like, I'm gonna fail, I'm already miserable. And I told my dad that. I texted him that morning and I said, just letting you know that if I fail today, I'm gonna have the biggest meltdown anyone's ever seen. But when I got into the car, I took the test, he passed. When he said, okay, you passed, I was like, oh my God, really? And I was really excited and the guy was like, okay, I'm gonna go now. And then now I'm driving and now I have my license and I kind of feel like a big girl. Oh, and then when I went on a flight recently, I went to the airport, and when she asked me for my license, I was like, here you go, there it is, I have it now, you can check all of it. So that's it, guys. I feel a lot closer to you now, you know everything about me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out my book, Girl on Point, Chloe's Guide to Taking on the World, and subscribe to 17 right down below. Bye, guys. Love you all.